You know that heavy, sluggish feeling that hits right around 3 in the afternoon?
Oh, yeah, the classic afternoon crash.
Right.
Oh,
And we always just blame it on being in a busy season of life where,
yeah.
we brush it off as just getting older.
Which is so easy to do. I mean, you just assume you are tired because you have a lot going on.
Exactly. But I was looking through our sources for today's deep dive, and it turns out that brain fog might not be a lack of caffeine at all,
No, not at all. It is actually a literal pile of microscopic garbage that is just suffocating your cells.
which is just wild to think about. I mean, actual cellular waste. So the mission for our deep dive today is to extract exactly how you can get your body to clean up its own backlog of garbage.
Yeah, and to look at the specific food swaps that activate your body's built-in repair systems.
Right, and critically, how to do it without needing to endure extreme fasting.
Because that is a massive shift in how we understand daily energy and aging,
It really is. For a long time, the main thought in the wellness space was just if you wanted to trigger this deep cellular cleanup, you had to basically starve yourself.
Right, you had to do these intense fasting windows. But the sources we are looking at today map out how specific plant compounds can chemically bypass that requirement.
So you can flip the switch on cellular repair while you just go about your normal day,
Exactly. It changes everything for people who just cannot fast.
which is exactly what we need to figure out today. Because before we can use these food swaps, we need to understand the inner workings of what we're actually trying to trigger.
Yeah, we have to know what the body's doing first.
So the guide focuses heavily on a body process called autophagy. And the word comes from Greek, and it translates to self-eating.
Which I know sounds a bit intense.
It sounds terrifying, honestly. Like, wait, is my body just destroying its own healthy cells? I mean, what is actually happening when a cell decides to, eat itself?
Well, it is not destruction at all. It is entirely about recycling.
Recycling.
Yeah. So inside your cells, you have an incredible amount of daily activity happening every single second. And just like any busy building process, this creates waste.
That's like offcuts of wood in a workshop.
Exactly. You end up with broken proteins, worn out cell parts, just junk. Autophagy is the cell's internal quality control system.
Okay, so it is the cleanup crew.
Right. When it gets turned on, the cell basically builds a wall around this damaged material, breaks it down into basic parts, and then reuses those raw materials to build brand new, highly healthy components.
Oh, wow. So it's a highly targeted microscopic home renovation.
That is a great way to put it.
Like you are ripping out the old drywall,
Yeah.
but then using that exact same material to build better support beams.
Yes. And this isn't just some loose theory either. The sources highlight that a Japanese cell expert, Yoshinori Asumi, actually won the 2016 Nobel Prize in Medicine for this.
Wait, really? A Nobel Prize?
Yeah, because he mapped out the exact genetic pathways of this process. He proved it is a precisely controlled body mechanism.
Okay, so how is it controlled? Like, how does the body know when to clean up and when to stop?
Well, that mechanism is governed by two opposing switches in your cells. You have one switch called AMPK.
AMPK. Got it.
Yeah, and that is your body's main energy sensor. When AMPK detects that energy is low, it turns the autophagy cleanup crew on.
Okay, so low energy means the cleanup crew comes in.
Right. But on the other side, you have the mTOR switch. And mTOR is the growth and abundance switch.
So they do opposite things.
Exactly. When mTOR is active, it tells the cell, hey, we have plenty of resources, let's build and multiply.
Which would naturally turn the cleanup crew off.
Yes, because you cannot be in a state of heavy growth and heavy repair at the exact same time. It is one or the other.
Okay, I have to pause you right there. Because, I mean, if mTOR is the growth switch, and we need growth to build muscle after a workout, or just to stay strong as we age, aren't we shooting ourselves in the foot if we constantly try to turn it off?
That is such a good question.
Like, how are we supposed to balance staying strong with clearing out the cellular trash?
And that is the most critical tension in this whole process, because you absolutely need mTOR. If you turn it off entirely, your muscles waste away and your immune system gets weak.
Right, which nobody wants.
No, of course not. The problem is that human biology is designed to be in cycles. We evolved to cycle through periods of feasting and famine, growth and repair.
Just like the seasons.
Exactly. But the modern lifestyle where food is literally always available and we are just constantly eating from the moment we wake up to the moment we go to sleep.
Oh, I see. It keeps that mTOR growth switch permanently jammed in the on position.
Yes. We are stuck in a relentless state of growth and digestion, and that AMPK cleanup switch never gets flipped.
Because we never let the cleanup crew into the building. The factory is just running 24/7.
You nailed it.
Which brings us to the normal solution people talk about. Because for years, the standard advice to flip that AMPK switch back on has been the 16-hour fast.
Right, intermittent fasting. We all know the drill.
We do.
Yeah.
But I mean, if you have a demanding job or you get dizzy from low blood sugar, fasting for 16 hours is just brutal.
It is really harsh on the body for a lot of people.
So how do the sources suggest we get around this? If we don't fast, what do we do?
Well, this is where research from schools like Harvard and Johns Hopkins completely changes the game. They discovered that specific natural plant compounds can chemically nudge that AMPK pathway.
Wait, without skipping meals?
Yes, without requiring you to completely starve yourself, mainly a category called polyphenols.
Okay, but how does that actually work? If AMPK is an energy sensor that looks for starvation, how does a plant compound trick it into thinking we are starving when we just ate?
It comes down to this concept of mild, healthy stress. When certain plants are exposed to outside stress, like a drought or intense sun, they produce these polyphenols to protect themselves.
Okay, so the plant is stressed, it makes a shield.
Right. And when you consume those plant compounds, they act as a very faint stress signal inside your own body.
Oh, wow. So your AMPK sensor detects this subtle stress, gets tricked into thinking we might be running out of food, and kicks off the cleanup process.
Exactly. Even if you just ate a few hours ago.
That is fascinating. We are essentially using the plant's survival trick to hack our own energy sensors.
It is brilliant. And the guide gives a really practical story about this with a woman named Sarah.
Oh, right, the one who worked at the agency.
Yeah. She is 34, working these intense hours at a marketing firm and waking up every day just completely drained.
Like so many of us.
Right. So she tried the classic 16-hour fasting route to help her brain fog, but she just suffered from severe low blood sugar headaches.
Yeah, I mean, fasting just is not a fit for everyone's biology or schedule.
And that is a reality for a massive portion of people. Telling everyone they must endure long fasts to be healthy is just a failure of modern advice.
Right, because it just makes you feel worse.
But Sarah's story shows that by using these specific plant compounds, she could bypass the starvation rule. She swapped out her afternoon sugary snacks and lattes for specific drinks and spices.
And those acted as the AMPK triggers.
Yes. And her brain fog completely lifted without her ever having to skip a single meal.
Okay, so we know we can trick the sensor. The immediate question you have to ask is, what exact foods are we using to pull off this trick?
Let's get into the pantry.
Yes. If we are looking to replace the long fast, what is the first thing we should reach for in the morning?
The most easy trigger to find is black coffee.
Just normal black coffee.
Yep. Studies show that the caffeine and the specific healing compounds in coffee provide an immediate early morning nudge to that AMPK pathway.
Okay, but the catch here is huge, right? Because the moment you add oat milk or sugar or syrups to that coffee, you introduce calories.
And you spike your insulin.
Doesn't that instantly flip the mTOR growth switch back on?
It does. It moves the body right back into digestion mode. You completely stop the repair phase you were just trying to start.
So it has to be black coffee.
It has to be black coffee. Now, if you want an option for later in the day, the sources heavily highlight green tea.
Right, because you cannot drink black coffee at 3 p.m. unless you want to completely ruin your sleep.
Which totally defeats the purpose of cellular repair, as we'll talk about later.
So green tea is the afternoon swap.
Exactly. Green tea contains a highly potent compound called EGCG.
EGCG.
Yeah, and in almost all healthy aging research, EGCG is there because it has this profound ability to interact with the pathways that control autophagy.
So it acts like a signal flare.
Yes, it tells the body to keep the cleanup processes running even if you are not fasting.
That is so simple.
Yeah.
And the sources also point to extra virgin olive oil, mainly because of a compound in it. But I actually want to pivot to something even more specific, because it is not just about what single ingredient you eat.
Right. It is about how they combine.
Exactly. It's about how these things interact with our digestion. The guide has this whole section on turmeric and black pepper that completely changed how I think about absorption.
Oh, it is arguably one of the most vital pairings in food science.
Because turmeric has this compound called curcumin, which is really good at signaling these repair pathways.
Yeah.
But there is a massive hurdle.
A huge biological roadblock.
Right. On its own, curcumin has terrible absorption. A lot of people say it's like a VIP trying to get into an exclusive club, but the bouncer turns them away.
Which is a fun image, but it doesn't actually explain the biology.
Right. The guide explains it so much better. It says your liver actively targets curcumin for disposal.
Mm,
Like as soon as it enters your system, your liver enzymes act like a biological document shredder.
yes. They tag the curcumin molecules to be flushed out in your urine right away before they can ever reach your bloodstream to do any good.
Which is correct. So most of the turmeric you eat just passes straight through you.
Your liver just views it as something to clear out instantly. But this is where black pepper comes in.
The black pepper.
Yeah. Black pepper contains a compound called piperine. And piperine doesn't just, passively help. It actively unplugs the liver's document shredder.
Wait, really? It just stops the shredding.
Yes, it temporarily stops the specific liver enzymes that are trying to destroy the curcumin.
And according to the sources,
Yeah.
by pairing turmeric with just a tiny pinch of black pepper, you boost the levels of curcumin in your blood by almost 2,000%.
2,000%.
That is staggering.
It really is. It is a massive chemical shift from something as normal as a pepper grinder.
So if you are making a curry or roasting veggies in turmeric and you forget the black pepper, you are essentially throwing the cellular benefits away.
Pretty much. That one tiny combo completely alters the chemical makeup of your bloodstream.
That detail just makes you realize how precise our bodies really are.
Absolutely.
Okay, so beyond coffee, green tea, and turmeric, the sources dive into two other major compounds studied heavily in aging, spermidine and resveratrol.
Those are fantastic ones.
What exactly are they doing at a cellular level? Like, are they just more cleanup triggers?
Well, they are fascinating because they show how linked together these systems are. Spermidine, which you find naturally in mushrooms, aged cheeses, and fermented soy like tempeh, directly stimulates the autophagy cleanup.
Okay, so more cleanup signals.
Right. But resveratrol, which is found in the skins of red grapes and berries, works on a related but different path. It involves these proteins called sirtuins.
The source is called sirtuins, the close colleagues of autophagy.
Mhm.
But what does that mean? Are they just another cleanup crew?
Not exactly. Think of sirtuins less as the cleanup crew and more as the site managers.
Oh, the site managers. I like that.
Yeah. They are a family of proteins that regulate cell health and repair. When resveratrol turns them on, these sirtuins direct the cell's resources toward healing.
So they create the right environment for the cleanup crew to come in and do their work really well.
Exactly. They work perfectly in tandem.
Okay, so just to synthesize this daily routine for everyone listening, you wake up, you have a black coffee, you have a green tea in the afternoon to avoid the caffeine crash while keeping that AMPK switch engaged.
Perfect.
You saute some mushrooms and extra virgin olive oil for dinner, maybe add some berries to your morning routine. And anytime you touch turmeric, you hit it with black pepper.
Yes.
By doing that, you are sending a constant rolling wave of cleanup signals to your cells. You are mimicking the benefits of a fast without actually starving.
Precisely. You are establishing a steady baseline of repair. None of these foods are magic erasers on their own, but when you stack them together, they continually nudge the seesaw toward AMPK.
But, and I think this is a massive counterpoint we need to hit, you can't just sprinkle some pepper on a terrible diet and expect your cells to magically fix themselves.
Oh, definitely not.
We know how to turn the AMPK switch on, but what are the everyday habits that are accidentally keeping that mTOR growth switch permanently jammed on?
Yeah.
The saboteurs basically blocking all this repair.
Well, the saboteurs are sadly incredibly common. Things like refined sugar, highly processed snacks, and heavy alcohol intake place huge stress on the body.
Right.
But the most sneaky saboteur is the modern culture of constant all-day grazing.
The snack culture. I mean, we are always eating.
Exactly. From a human history standpoint, eating 6 small meals a day or constantly having a handful of chips or a protein bar every 2 hours is disastrous for cellular repair.
Because every single time you eat, you trigger an insulin response.
Yes. You signal to your body that resources are highly abundant. If you are constantly trickling food into your system, mTOR stays persistently active.
So the cell never gets the signal that the intake phase is over and it is time to take out the trash.
Never.
So even if I'm drinking my green tea and eating my spermidine-rich mushrooms, if I'm also snacking constantly between meals, I am actively jamming the switch. I am fighting my own biology.
You are creating a biological stalemate. The signals are just fighting each other.
Wow.
And the sources also point out that eating heavy animal protein at every single meal does the exact same thing.
Really? Eating protein?
Yeah, because amino acids are one of the strongest triggers for mTOR. Now again, protein is essential for muscle and health. But it's the pattern of constant excess that prevents the cell from ever resting.
It's the nonstop nature of it.
Exactly.
This actually brings up a really interesting story in the guide about a guy named David.
Oh, the traveling dad!
Yeah, he's 41, a father of two, and his job requires constant travel. He basically lives in airports and hotels.
Which is so tough on the body.
Right. And the guide says he couldn't stick to a rigid fasting schedule, so he just brought turmeric and black pepper packets in his suitcase.
Hmm.
He put them on his hotel meals and drank green tea at the airport.
Yeah.
Now, I have to push back on this a little bit. Is sprinkling a tiny packet of pepper on a heavy processed airport meal really going to do anything? Or is that just a drop in the bucket? It feels a bit like drinking a diet soda with a massive fast food meal and calling it healthy.
It is a completely fair question to ask. And no, a pinch of pepper does not neutralize a highly processed meal.
Right. It can't be a magic wand.
But what David's example shows is the power of shifting the baseline. He wasn't achieving perfect autophagy during an airport layover,
Sure.
but by choosing green tea over a sugary soda, he prevented a massive insulin spike that would have jammed his mTOR switch even further.
Oh, I see.
And by adding the piperine and curcumin, he was at least sending some healing signals to a system that was under stress. It wasn't about perfection. It was about preventing a total biological gridlock.
So consistency in small signals basically beats attempting a perfect 16-hour fast that you just give up on after 3 days.
Exactly. Consistency is everything.
Okay, that makes sense. It's about shifting the overall balance over time rather than trying to perfectly offset one bad meal. But for those of us who aren't living in airports and can control our routine, the sources emphasize that timing is the ultimate secret here.
Yes. And this is where we tie everything together with circadian biology.
The body clock.
Right. Your body's sensitivity to these compounds and its willingness to activate the cleanup crew shifts with your natural circadian rhythm. It is not just about a checklist of foods.
The guide actually recommends implementing an 11 to 12-hour eating window, which, I mean, it sounds like fasting, but it's really just the basic biological rule of not eating while you sleep.
Exactly.
We were just talking about finishing your dinner 2 to 3 hours before you go to bed and then eating breakfast at a normal time the next morning.
Just give your digestive system a hard stop before you sleep, because the research shows that deep cellular repair, mainly in the brain, is fundamentally tied to high-quality sleep.
So if your body is furiously diverting energy to digest a heavy meal at midnight,
It is not initiating the deep cellular cleanup that your brain needs to clear out that 3 p.m. fog.
you are forcing the cellular factory workers to wash dishes from a late-night party instead of doing the deep structural maintenance the building actually needs.
So that is exactly what is happening.
Wow. And the guide also mentions taking a brief 10 to 15-minute walk after your largest meal.
Yes, because that gentle movement acts as a mechanical signal to clear glucose from your blood faster. It returns you to that baseline state where AMPK can eventually be triggered again.
So it complements every single cellular pathway we have discussed today.
It brings it all together.
So if we synthesize everything from the sources today, getting your cells to clean out the microscopic garbage that makes you feel older and sluggish is not some VIP club reserved for people who starve themselves for 18 hours a day.
Come on, Aldo, it is a natural daily rhythm.
You have the ability to gently nudge your biology using specific swaps. Black coffee, the EGCG, and green tea, leveraging the piperine and black pepper to bypass your liver's document shredder, and simply giving your digestion a hard stop a few hours before sleep.
It is an incredibly empowering shift in how we view health. We are not just passive victims of cellular aging. Your daily choices, even something as simple as choosing a specific spice or adjusting the timing of your last meal, are direct chemical instructions to your cellular machinery.
Which leaves me with one final thought for you, the listener, to really mull over. We learned today that this incredible cellular cleanup process happens most effectively when we align our eating with our natural circadian rhythms.
Right, giving the body time to rest and reset.
Exactly. So if our bodies are this elegantly designed to heal, recycle, and renovate themselves purely during periods of rest and specific nutrition, what other miraculous built-in repair systems are we unwittingly suppressing with our modern, always-on, 24/7 lifestyles?
That is such a profound thought.
If taking out the microscopic trash can cure your 3 p.m. brain fog, what else could we fix just by getting out of the way and letting our bodies do what they were built to do?
That is the fundamental question we should all be asking ourselves.
Thanks for diving deep with us today. Keep those cellular kitchens clean, and we'll catch you on the next one.